See his eyeball? This means there's gonna be some massive spoilers coming up. If you don't feel comfortable about these spoilers, then click out right now. Otherwise, enjoy the show. Thank you so much for watching. It's time for the greatest show on this channel. That's right, ladies and gents, kids and kidettes. It is time for movie review. Good morning, Internet. My name's Matt. I just woke up. It's currently 10:04. If you are new to this channel and have no idea what's going on, good. So does 99% of this channel. Welcome back. Woo! Welcome back to movie review. Okay. Wow. So, for those of you who are new to this channel, I'll make a playlist. Playlist will probably be up. Link's gonna be down in the description below. It'll be the first link. Also, before we get started, some of you may or may not have noticed that the icon for my channel has greatly improved from my crappy drawing to... I just realized there's Jesus here. Some of you may or may not have noticed that the icon for my channel has greatly improved. Well, it's all thanks... No, oh my god. It's all thanks to an artist on Instagram. This guy right here. I'm not even going to bother pronouncing his name because I can't even... Because what? Is the H silent or not? I don't know. Anyways. He's a very fantastic artist. He's very talented. He takes commissions. Yeah, he's got to pay. But it was so worth it. It was absolutely so worth it. Hey, Future Mattception here. For those of you who may be wondering what the heck I'm talking about, here's a picture right here. Anyways, this guy is very, very talented. And again, I highly recommend giving him a follow, even though I haven't said that yet. But, just a reiteration, you know, because I am from the future, definitely give him a shout out. His @ is what the name was previously, and here's just a closer look. I'll shut up. I'll let Past Me take care of it. Enjoy the picture, and enjoy the rest of the video. He is such a great artist. I mean, it's fantastic. Honestly, it's fantastic. So, the links to his Instagram is down below in the description as well. That'll be the second link. And he also has a YouTube channel, which is also in his bio of his Instagram. But I'm just going to leave it down in the description as well. It's going to be the third link. So, respectively, it's going to be the playlist for the last two movie reviews, if you're all confused, followed by his Instagram and his YouTube channel. Please give him a follow. Give him a subscription. He deserves it. He's a fantastic artist. I mean, we artists support each other, so... yeah. Anyways, today's movie this week. Oh my god. Okay, so for the past 5 movies, we've already discussed about temporal displacement and all that shit. Well, today was actually somewhat normal. It was all in Spanish. It was all in Spanish. And being someone who studied Spanish and hasn't taken a Spanish class in like 30 years, I actually kind of remembered a lot of it. That's not what we're talking about today. I just wanted to bounce the Sharpie because I want to. Okay. So, this movie was very, very... I don't know what to think of it. I honestly don't know what to think of it. It's like a love story almost. It turns dark. For those who've heard of or played Doki Doki Literature Club, you think something cute? Oh no, it's not cute. It is not cute. We're sidetrack to that. I've been thinking about doing a stream of it. I have seriously consider doing a stream of Doki Doki Literature Club. I've seen gameplays, except I'm not going to be playing it. I'm going to have somebody else playing it. They're going to go in blind. They're going to go in completely blind. And I'm going to have them play it. I was thinking about doing a stream with one of my friends playing Doki Doki Literature Club with me next to them. And that's getting one hell of a time, actually, thinking about it. So, if we do manage to actually commit to the stream and actually do the stream, I will throw out a lot of warnings. I will throw out a lot of warnings beforehand about this game, because it needs it. What is going on outside? Oh, Maggie, she's barking downstairs. Ah! I got that one thrown. Fuck! Ah! I gotta have more cowbell. I gotta have more cowbell. Stupid box. Oh yes. Also, in 3 days, on a Monday's video, you will find out what this is. For those who may or may not know. It'll be awesome. Anyways, back to the movie. So, the movie was called Talk to Her, or Hable con ella. And, like I said, it was all in Spanish, and it got dark very fast. So, it was, I will admit, for the first 30 seconds of the movie, it started off as a play. And there was just these ladies just running around the stage, and the guy was like running away from like this chick. He's going like pushing the chairs out of the way like this, and the lady was like acting like she was possessed. And I'm like, okay, this has only been a minute in, and I'm already uber confused. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Oh yeah, before we do any of that, or before we go any further, I should say, it's rated R. There actually isn't a lot of bad language in it. They only say fuck like 3 times. But there's some topics in there that are rated R worthy. Take it with a gigantic sack of salt. Like, watch this movie with a gigantic sack of salt. Obviously it's in Spanish too, so it's gotta be like with Run Lola Run. If you feel like watching this movie, watch it with subtitles. Honestly. Just because I understand Spanish. There's still subtitles in there, and again, I'm rusty in my Spanish. I could probably, you know, I picked out bits and pieces of it. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's that word, blah, blah, blah. But being someone who's technically bilingual, I mean, I'm way too rusty. Anyways, so I saw it as a play, and then it goes into a doctor taking care of this girl who's been in a coma for 4 years. Oh man. And I thought Mulholland Drive was weird for having boobs everywhere. This movie's been like 5 minutes in, and it already has boobs everywhere. Oh, man. I mean, obviously, they have to, like, take care of the patient. It made more sense. I was a little bit more comfortable with it, because it makes sense. And I was actually kind of like, oh, is that how they do this? Because the point where they were taking off, like, the little blanket, and boobs started showing up. They were, like, giving her a bath. Obviously, you didn't see everything. That's later. But it shows you how they actually bathed somebody, like, in the hospital. I'm thinking, is that actually how they do that in the hospital? Like, okay, for those who, like, can't move, like, in a vegetaric state, like, in a coma, or, like, someone who just can't move, like, they're not allowed to, like, move, you know, like, they can't get up yet, they're too weak to move, they broke a leg, and they don't have, like from the hip up. I know that's like excessive. I mean, they have like those gigantic casts where it's like up to your knee, like your entire tibia and fibula are broken, and you're like the legs up like this at an angle, and you can't move. I mean, is that actually how they wash them? They just take like a sponge, they just lather you up, and then the second guy follows behind and dries you off. If that's the case, that's actually kind of cool. I never knew that. Anyways, so starts off with that guy. I think his name was Bergomo, was the doctor, and Marco was the guy who said excellent. So and it goes back to Marco. Marco falls in love with a bullfighter. Um, blah blah blah. They're gonna talk about something, but we don't know what after the bullfight. And this bull ends up gouging her, and she's in a coma. So that's how Marco and Bergamo meet, because they have a similar interests of their love life. Only Bergamo's a little bit more weirder. Bergamo's basically like the Monica of this movie. It's just, it gets weird very fast. So what ends up happening is Bergamo's talking to Marco about, oh, you should talk to her. That's the title. And he's like, you're crazy. She's practically dead. Because her cerebral cortex, which is the area responsible for, seeing, remembering, talking, all that stuff, that's gone. That's destroyed. But her brain stem is still intact. If that broke, then she's dead. But everything for like her eyes moving or blinking to her breathing, that's mechanical. So every time you blink, you don't blink subconsciously unless you have to. Or else I blink like I'm like that, like I'm like a fake like what? You blink autonomously, you breathe autonomously. You don't think about breathing. You just do it, and you obviously if you have the hiccups, you force yourself to stop breathing. You hold your breath, but your heart pumping is autonomous. You don't think about your heart's a muscle. For those who didn't know, you flex your arms. That's flexing. Obviously it's flexing. Oh my god, man. So obviously you think about, okay, so I'm going to flex. You flex. You don't think, oh, I'm going to pump blood throughout my entire body so I can live. You don't flex your heart, so it just pumps like a little ounce of blood. No, your body just does it autonomously. I think it beats like 10 times a minute. Something like that. You can't flex your heart 10 times a minute. Thinking about it. Anyways, so it's how Bergamo and Marco meet. They just talk. They shoot the shit. And Bergamo talks about how he actually loves Alice. How it's kind of weird because they never really met until she dropped her wallet. Which was kind of funny because we were talking about this in class where he ends up jumping out a window to like get her wallet for her. But he lives on the 5th story. So it's like, well, your legs would be broken and or you'd be dead. It's just that was funny. So they're just talking about how he actually fell for her. He actually went to his psychiatrist's, which was her father's, Alice's father, and talking about how he ends up going to her room. Okay, that's a little weird. That's getting towards what the fuck are you doing? He steals her hair clip. What? And he's like, oh, I went to go back next week, but, I couldn't because Alice wasn't there, and blah, blah, blah. It turns out she was in a car accident, 3 days later. Oops. And he's like, he's a doctor, and he's like, oh, we're going to send him to Bergamo, and Alice's father is like, no, 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 it's not a good idea. I don't want him to be sexual with my patients. Foreshadowing. But he's like, well, just give Alice the best doctor, and Bergamo's the one with the best reputation. Sucks for him. Anyway, so he's talking about that, blah, blah, blah. Another scene is where Marco finds out that Bergamo wants to marry Alice. And Marco's like, you're crazy. You can't do that. And he's like, sure I can. We get along better than any other couples, and we get along better than any other relationship. I should probably go back a little bit, though, because I did skip a pretty pivotal scene. So, before any of that happens, before Bergamo admits that he wants to marry Alice, Bergamo tells Alice a story about how he wants to go to a silent film. He went to a silent film. I forget what it was called, but it got weird. It got weird very fast. It was funny thinking about it now, but it's still weird. So what? Because Bergamo's going on to these things. He's doing everything for Alice. He's telling her about all these silent films. He's going to all these plays for her. He's going to all these silent films for her. The only thing he hasn't done is travel. Because Alice likes to travel. He likes Bergomo is doing this stuff for Alice, so therefore Alice likes to travel and go to movies and go to plays. My God, Matt, learn to speak. He's doing all this for Alice. And the premise of that is he's telling a story about this doctor and his assistant. Bergomo's like a big guy, and she's like a little twig. Basically like Bergomo and Alice. Only we don't fully know how tall Alice is compared to Bergomo because we've never seen her standing next to him. Regardless, what ends up happening is the doctor tries this diet antidote. Because apparently she created a formula for diet. Basically a drinkable diet pill that instantaneously turns you skinny. What ends up happening is he starts to shrink. And this is the point where things get weird. So she ends up finding the antidote and takes little itty bitty mini man, takes mini me to a whole new level, and they stay in a hotel. And this is also where things are getting really, really weird. It gets funny too. So, and this is also got to throw up too. This is some pretty rated R stuff. And what ends up happening is he, being the little tiny strong man he is, he pulls off the blankets with her. Apparently she's naked. Okay. Pulls it off all the way. He climbs her boobs. He climbs her boobs. And that's actually kind of funny. To see a man just flop on a titty. You also gotta think too, someone had to make this. Obviously we didn't shrink a man down. Someone had to make a gigantic set of cupcakes. Someone had to make this. And then, the second time I've ever seen a vagina on screen. The first time was The Shining back when I was like 12. I was not like fully open the gates. This is the first time I've ever seen that. This time, you can first time in this class, I'm thinking, oh no. He's like, he's like, oh. And you can see the hair. You can see the hair. And he's walking towards it. And so he hops down. And this is where things get so weird, get so funny, because I'm thinking about this now. Someone had to make this. Someone had to make this. Okay? So he's like, okay. Being the little sexual man he is, he's like, he sticks his whole entire arm inside the vagina. And she's like, okay. He dives in halfway, head first, into this vagina. And he's like, and I thought for a second, he's like, oh, goopy. And I thought he was not all goopy. And I think he kind of did. And he's like, alright, I'm digging this. And then, okay, just fucking take off your shorts like that's gonna matter. Your little tiny millimeter dick. And he just squirms his way inside the vagina. And at that point, you could tell someone obviously made this. I mean, for a minute, it looked good. It looked like a thing. And then you could tell it looked like felt. Or rubber. Some from a freaking carnival. And again, somebody had to make this. Someone had to make a life-size human vagina. Okay? Imagine. I'm gonna rant about this because this is stupid. Alright, so imagine man's like about my height. I'm about like 5'9". About 5'9". Someone had to make a fucking vagina this big. Someone had to make a vagina this big for the man just to slip right inside. For a Spanish film, what the fuck are you thinking? Doesn't make sense. Did not make sense. So then Bergomo finishes up his story by saying that the man stayed inside her forever. He probably took a long turn at the fallopian. He probably took a wrong turn at the fallopian tubes, but whatever. So, and then it kind of cuts out at a lava lamp, which kind of, a lot of people actually say it was something else, which was sperm, which is also foreshadowing. Because I heard that, and I'm like, alright, that kind of makes sense. So Bergomo goes, he wants to marry Alice. He's like, you're crazy. She's a vegetable. You have no feelings. She can't say no. That's important, guys. No means no. Don't be stupid. Think with your noodle head. Don't be stupid. Because what ends up happening next, after Bergamo's like, oh yeah, you could stay in my apartment. You know, no wait, that's before that. This is after that. They find out Alice has sensitive guts in here. Those who are sensitive to this shit, click out now or skip to like, I don't know, 10 minutes. No, actually don't, because it's probably going to be like 3 seconds for me sending this. So, if you don't want to hear it, just turn it down for about like, count to 10. Just count to 10. I'll count with you. How about that? Count to 10. Just mute it. Take out your headphones. I will count. So you can, I'll be like, I'll put the thumbs up. I count on 1, so I'll just be like, you're good. I'll be like, yeah, that exact face. Okay. You back? You good? You probably heard me through the freaking rant because I'm screaming, but long story short, TLDR, Alice has been impregnated. For those who are a little bit more comfortable with stuff like that. I probably should have said that in the beginning. Oh well. Future Mattception back again. I decided to cut out the entire thing, so you literally could just hear the entire, rant. This content that I said was actually probably a little too extreme, even for YouTube bylaws, so I just removed it completely. So don't even worry about it. You can watch it with your headphones on. That's all. Carry on. That's what the movie said. For those of you who didn't hear or barely heard because of me screaming, just don't worry about it. So, we're trying to figure out who. And obviously, Bergamo is the prime subject. And 8 months later, obviously he's probably been accused. And he's in jail. He's in the carcel. Which is actually Spanish for jail. For the carcel. I'm remembering my Spanish. It's kind of funny because taxi is still taxi. I'm not giving a Spanish lesson, but whatever. So he visits Bergamo, and Bergamo's like, okay, yeah, you can use my apartment, blah, 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 blah. He's concerned about Alice and the baby. So at that point, Bergamo basically said, yeah, I did it. So Marco gets the apartment, and he's looking out the window where Bergamo looked out the window. And he actually sees Alice. So Alice is awake. The baby's dead. The baby was born stillborn. But Alice woke up from her coma, which is kind of ironic because in the very beginning of the movie, where he was talking to a doctor about seeing if his bullfighter lover would wake up, and he said scientifically no, that can't happen. Alice has been in a coma for about 5 years. You gotta remember. I mean, she's not completely healed. I mean, she still has to walk with a cane, but she's been in a coma for 5 years. And the story goes that this child was born in a coma. And for 15 years, this child was in a coma until the child woke up. Child woke up. So what we were connecting was the fact of, I am stuffy. I don't know why. Can I not be stuffy? For once. So, what is this? Oh, it's actually a thing for the thing. Well, where's my thing? Have you not gotten my assignment yet? This is actually important. Sidetrack! Alright. I'm back, and we're just looking at, just stuff that we would probably talk about. And I found out what next week's film is. So I'll tell you that at the end. Which is really awesome, because I've never actually did that before. Something to look forward to. Actually, no, I won't. I won't tell you. Leave it a surprise. I'll leave you suspended like a little fly on end of a spider web. It sounded wrong. I'm sorry. But anyways, back to Alice. So Alice has been in coma for 5 years. She finally woke up after baby. Baby died. Kind of like that play. Later on, life for death, death for life. It's like yin and yang. It just kind of goes. It spins. This is not how yin and yang go. It's more beautiful than that. So what ends up happening is, after realizing Alice is alive, he gets a message from Bergamo saying, I'm going to escape. Life without Alice is not worth It's not worth it. So he's like hurrying to the jail, saying, "Oh my God, hang on, I gotta tell him something." And what ends up happening afterwards is once he gets there, he goes to the director. Apparently, Marco committed suicide. Again, this is slowly turning into Doki Doki Literature Club here, guys. This is getting dark. Again, without giving anything away, he knows something is not as it seems. This movie is not as it seems. And just like that game. I'm not telling you what happens exactly. But one of these things is not like the other. So what ends up happening is Marco basically reads that Bergamo's which got to try to induce himself in a coma to reunite with Alice with all the pills he's gotten. But he ends up killing himself. So it ends up, so he gets buried, blah blah blah. He tells his grave, Alice is alive. We should have said that earlier. But he ends up, Marco still goes to plays, I think kind of for Bergamo, just to kind of continue with that. Either that or Marco actually does like these plays, I don't know. But Alice actually meets Marco, and they're just talking, they're just shooting the shit. And the dance teacher knows Marco because he knows that he hangs out with Bergamo. So she's like, you didn't tell him anything, did you? And he's like, no, I didn't. She just asked me if I was okay. We were just talking after that. And she's like, oh, thank goodness. And what ends up happening afterwards was they're just talking. And that was really it. They were just kind of like, I'm glad you're awake. In all honesty, to be completely frank, I missed the very end of the movie. Literally, I got up to go to the bathroom and the credits began to roll. Like the little sub-credits. And apparently something happened while I was taking a piss. So I don't know what happened at the end of the movie. Apparently what ended up happening was everyone was happy. Someone told me that Alice ended up shooting up the entire place, but, whatever, sure. After seeing Mulholland Drive, anything can fucking happen. So, it was actually a very short movie. It was 2 hours, obviously it's standard movie time, but not a lot happened. It's a kind of a weird movie, especially with a fucking human vagina. Obviously humans have them, but fucking life-size, human-sized vaginas. It's fucking, I'm just sending some snaps to people because I'm just so frustrated about this. I can rank. Obviously, first of all, and most importantly, why? Why? Why would you make... Why? Just tell me why. Tell me why! Ain't nothing but a heartache! This is why I don't go on American Idol. I would not last. But... Flowey, what do you think back there? Yeah? Oh, okay. So... what would I rate this movie? It would have to be the same circumstances as not Mulholland Drive. Obviously, yeah, that's taken with a gigantic sack of salt. It's like with Run Lola Run. If you want to watch it, go ahead and watch it. Watch it with subtitles, and if you feel comfortable with some certain subjects. Like with Mulholland Drive. It's basically like Run Lola Run and Mulholland Drive mixed together to make a Spanish Baby. Because why not? The music, though, that is definitely worth watching, because the soundtrack to that movie is phenomenal. And that's really a really good part of it. The soundtrack was great. It was phenomenal. And it was a good story. It actually made sense. It flowed like a normal movie. No temporal displacements, no crap not making sense. It left some ambiguity, but that's for us to interpret, which is nice, because I like suspense. I like kind of being left open to my own interpretation, not to the degree of making up my own damn story, like some of these other movies we've made. or Saw. And yeah, that's really it. Just take it with a grain of salt, a giant grain of salt, a giant sack of salt. Just carry a rock with you. But I'd watch it. You know, I'd probably have, again, had the subtitles on, but I'd watch it. So that is it of this movie review. Like I said, not a lot happened because it was like basically traveling and his development of character, which is not really that important. Just pick out main plot points. Donnie Darko was a longer one to do because I ended up reading portions of the book and then re-explaining it to you guys. This was basically what I aim for movie reviews to be, about half hour, maybe 45 minutes max. The other one was about an hour, which is kind of long, but whatever. Anyways, so next week's movie review will be very interesting because I believe it has Clint Eastwood as the director. And I'm not telling you what it is because I think I've heard this movie before. I think I've heard of this movie. I have to watch it. But I'm actually really excited for it. And I think my dad would too because he likes movies like this. Fuck it. I'll tell you what the movie's called. So, it's called Letters from Iwo Jima. So, I think I'm going to like this movie, to be honest. You know, we're done with the temporal displacement. I think this movie's actually going to physically make sense. And it's going to be in English. So, anyways, this week coming up, we're still going to have more Subnautica coming. I know I said last week that this week the schedule's going to return. I had Subnautica all recorded, but I decided I was just too damn tired to freaking edit it and post it. This week you can expect 3 videos. You can expect another Subnautica video, another movie review, and a vlog, a special vlog. You'll see why on that day. So for now, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to leave a like, and please give that artist a follow. He definitely deserves it. He is fucking fantastic. He's very talented. Subscribe to this channel, subscribe to his channel, share everything with your friends so they can join on in every bit of this madness. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. And cut! Ah, hello. I didn't see you there. I was just finishing up my glass of banana milk for this video. So, if you are actually here to see this special video, congratulations, you found a secret. So, what you may be wondering yourself is, well, what's the point of this video? You know, what's the point of this end? You saw the edit, you saw the ending, you saw everything that needs to be. It's about this. I'm going to give you guys a big hint about it. All I'm going to tell you is you're going to have to tune in Monday for a special vlog. Now you might be wondering, Matt, what's the special vlog? What's the big deal about it? You know, it's just another ordinary day. My friends, you're wrong. You know why you're wrong? I'm just about to tell you right now. My friends, on that day is a very special day. Because that day is going to be